As I sit here surrounded by the memories of a lifetime, I'm reminded of the woman who shaped my childhood with her warmth and wisdom. My grandmother, Aurora, with her blue eyes like a summer sky and a hug that could heal any pain, was always an open book to me. Or so I thought. The day she passed away, I felt like a part of me had been torn away, leaving a gaping hole that could never be filled. But as I began to sort through her belongings, I stumbled upon a discovery that would change everything I thought I knew about her, about our family, and about the very fabric of our history. It was an old wooden box, tucked away in a corner of her attic, its surface worn and dusty from years of neglect. I ran my fingers over the intricate carvings, feeling a sense of curiosity wash over me. As I opened the box, a faint scent of lavender wafted out, carrying with it whispers of the past. And there, nestled between yellowed letters and faded photographs, lay a diary. The cover was made of worn leather, its edges creaking with age, and the pages within were yellowed with a patina of time. I hesitated for a moment, my heart racing with anticipation, before gently opening the diary to its first page. The handwriting was unfamiliar, yet the words seemed to leap off the page, speaking directly to my soul. In that instant I realized that Aurora had been hiding secrets that had been locked away for decades, waiting to be uncovered. As I began to read, the woman I thought I knew began to unravel, revealing a tapestry of love, sacrifice, and hidden legacies that span generations. Over the next few hours I devoured the diary, tears streaming down my face as I uncovered the story of a forbidden love, a lost treasure, and a life lived in the shadows of history's turmoil. It was as if Aurora had been waiting for me to find this, to understand her in a way that I never had before. And now, as I share this story with you, I invite you to join me on a journey through the hidden corners of our family's past, to uncover the secrets that have been hidden for so long, and to discover the enduring power of love and sacrifice that has shaped our lives in ways both seen and unseen. The story you're about to hear is one of mystery, of heartache, and of the unbreakable bonds that tie us together. It's a story that will take you across generations, through times of war and peace, through love and loss, and ultimately, to a place of redemption and understanding. So come with me and let's unravel the threads of Grandma Aurora's hidden diary together. In the late 1930s, nestled in the heart of America, lay the small town of Willow Creek. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, where the air was sweet with the scent of blooming wildflowers, and the sky seemed to stretch on forever. The town's main street was lined with quaint shops, their wooden facades weathered to a soft silver from years of sun and rain. Children played in the dusty streets, their laughter carrying on the gentle breeze as they chased each other through the quiet neighborhoods. It was a simple, peaceful life, untouched by the turmoil that was brewing in the world beyond. My grandmother, Aurora, grew up in this idyllic setting, surrounded by the people and the land she loved. As a young woman, she was a dreamer, with a heart full of wonder and a mind full of questions. She spent hours poring over the pages of her favorite books, imagining far-off lands and exotic adventures. Her love for reading was only rivaled by her love for the natural world. She could often be found wandering through the woods, collecting leaves and rocks, and watching the stars twinkle to life on clear nights. Aurora's family was the cornerstone of her world. Her parents, hardworking and kind, tilled the soil and tended to their farm with love and care. Her older brother, Thomas, was a restless soul, with a passion for flying that seemed to burn brighter with every passing day. And then there was Lily, her younger sister, a gentle soul with a poet's heart and a love for all living things. The family was close-knit, their days filled with the simple joys of farm life. Mornings were spent working in the fields, afternoons at school, and evenings gathered around the dinner table, sharing stories and laughter. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the family would sit on the porch, watching the stars twinkle to life, and listening to the crickets serenade the night. But amidst this peaceful existence, Aurora felt a stirring within her. A sense of restlessness, a feeling that there was more to life than the familiar rhythms of Willow Creek. She couldn't quite articulate it, but she felt a yearning for something more, something beyond the horizon. It was a subtle sense of discontent, one that she couldn't shake, no matter how hard she tried. As she went about her daily routine, her mind would wander, imagining what lay beyond the rolling hills and the familiar streets of her hometown. Little did she know the world was on the cusp of change, and her life was about to take a dramatic turn. one that would challenge everything she thought she knew about herself and her place in the world. As the summer of 1939 drew to a close, the peaceful life of Willow Creek began to change. News of the war in Europe, once a distant rumble, grew louder, casting a shadow over the small town. The radio broadcasts, once filled with music and news of local events, now carried reports of Nazi aggression and the mobilization of troops. Aurora's family, like many others, listened with growing concern, their faces etched with worry. Her parents, practical and pragmatic, worried about the farm, about Thomas's plans to enlist, and about the future. Thomas, ever the adventurer, saw the war as a chance to fly planes and see the world. Aurora, however, felt a sense of disquiet, a growing awareness of the fragility of peace and the brutal reality of war. She began to question the world's justice, wondering how such atrocities could be allowed to happen. It was during this time of uncertainty that a stranger arrived in Willow Creek. His name was Elias, a young man in a military uniform, with piercing green eyes and jet black hair. He was different from the other local boys, with an air of quiet confidence and a sense of purpose that commanded attention. Aurora felt an immediate spark, a curiosity that she couldn't ignore. As they locked eyes, she sensed a connection, a sense of understanding that went beyond words. But there was something more to Elias, something he kept hidden behind his eyes. A secret mission, perhaps, or an enigmatic past. Whatever it was, Aurora felt drawn to him, sensing that his presence would draw her into a dangerous web where love and war were perilously intertwined. As the days passed, Elias became a regular presence in town, his movements mysterious, his intentions unclear. Aurora found herself watching him, wondering what lay beneath his reserved exterior. And Elias, for his part, seemed to be watching her, his eyes lingering on her face, his expression a mixture of curiosity and longing. The air was charged with tension, the sense of forbidden love hanging like a challenge between them. As the war loomed closer, Aurora felt her world expanding, her horizons shifting. She was no longer the same girl who had once dreamed of far-off lands and exotic adventures. Now she was faced with the brutal reality of war, and the possibility of love in the most unlikely of places. Little did she know, her life was about to take a dramatic turn, one that would challenge everything she thought she knew about herself and her place in the world. As the days turned into weeks, Aurora and Elias's secret meetings became more frequent, their love growing stronger with each passing moment. They would steal away to the old barn, the scent of hay and fresh earth filling the air, or walk through the sunflower field, the tall stalks towering above them like sentinels. In these moments the war seemed to fade away, and all that mattered was the gentle touch of their hands, the soft whispers of their love. But their happiness was short-lived, as the shadow of war loomed ever closer. Elias, with a look of grave concern, revealed to Aurora that he was not just a lost soldier, but a German scientist who had deserted his post, driven by a conscience that could no longer bear the atrocities he was ordered to commit. His mission, he confessed, was to find a powerful encryption device, hidden away by his mentor, a brilliant clockmaker. This device, Elias explained, held the key to preventing a catastrophic war, and he needed Aurora's help to find it. As they pored over ancient maps and cryptic clues, Aurora's heart swelled with pride and fear. She was no longer just a passive observer. She was now an active participant in Elias's perilous quest. The diary, once a private sanctuary, became a confidant, a repository of her deepest fears and desires. She wrote of her love for Elias, of the danger that surrounded them, and of the growing sense of purpose that had taken hold of her. Meanwhile, the external threat escalated as Nazi agents disguised as civilians began to appear in Willow Creek, their eyes scanning the streets, searching for Elias and the artifact. The air was thick with tension, the once peaceful town now a hotbed of paranoia and suspicion. Aurora and Elias navigated the treacherous landscape, their footsteps quiet, their hearts pounding in unison. They explored the hidden passages beneath the old church, the lantern casting eerie shadows on the walls as they uncovered the secrets of the ancient labyrinth. The artifact, they discovered, lay hidden in a chamber deep beneath the earth, its presence a reminder of the high stakes and the ultimate sacrifice they might have to make. As they prepared to face the dangers ahead, Aurora's transformation was complete. She was no longer the same girl who had once been content with the simple pleasures of life. She was now a woman, driven by love, courage, and a determination to protect the people and the future she cherished. The diary, a testament to her journey, would one day tell the story of a love that had endured, even in the darkest of times. As they navigated the winding passages of the underground labyrinth, the air grew thick with anticipation. Aurora's heart pounded in her chest, her senses heightened as they finally stumbled upon the secret chamber. The artifact, a small, intricately carved device, lay nestled in a bed of velvet, its presence both beautiful and ominous. But their triumph was short-lived, as the sound of footsteps echoed through the passage, growing louder with each passing moment. Nazi agents, their faces twisted with malice, burst into the chamber, guns drawn. Aurora and Elias sprang into action, their movements swift and desperate. Aurora used her knowledge of the labyrinth to evade their pursuers, leading Elias through the narrow passages as they desperately sought to escape. But they were cornered, and Elias, wounded and exhausted, made a final desperate stand. With a look of profound love and sacrifice, he entrusted the artifact to Aurora, his voice barely above a whisper. "You must get this to the right people," he urged, his eyes locked on hers. "It's the only way to stop them." And with that he fell, his body broken but his spirit unbroken. Aurora's world shattered. She cradled Elias's lifeless body in her arms, her tears falling like rain upon his face. But she knew she couldn't stay. With a heavy heart, she gathered the artifact, her fingers trembling as she tucked it into her pocket. She began to run, the darkness of the labyrinth closing in around her like a shroud. The sound of gunshots and screams faded into the distance as she emerged into the bright sunlight, gasping for air. The diary, her sole confidant, would forever hold the memories of their love, their sacrifice, and her promise to carry on Elias's mission. As she walked away from the labyrinth, the weight of the artifact and Elias's sacrifice settling upon her shoulders, Aurora knew that her life would never be the same. She was no longer just a young woman from Willow Creek. She was a guardian of hope, a keeper of secrets, and a warrior for justice. The diary would chronicle her journey, a testament to the enduring power of love and sacrifice in the face of overwhelming darkness. As I emerged from the labyrinth, the darkness seemed to swallow me whole, and I stumbled through the rain-soaked night, my heart heavy with grief. The weight of the artifact in my pocket felt like a constant reminder of Elias's sacrifice, and I couldn't shake the image of his lifeless body from my mind. I returned home, my family oblivious to the turmoil brewing within me. They welcomed me with warm smiles and open arms, but I felt like a stranger in my own home, trapped in a sea of familiar faces. The pain and shock of Elias's death threatened to consume me, and I found solace in the diary, pouring out my emotions onto its pages. I wrote of Elias, of our love, of his sacrifice, and of the promise I had made to carry on his mission. The words flowed like tears, a cathartic release that allowed me to breathe, if only for a moment. But I knew I had to maintain a facade of normalcy for my family's sake, and so I put on a mask of calm, pretending that everything was as it should be. Yet the burden of secrecy weighed heavily on me, isolating me even from those I loved. My parents and siblings noticed the change in me, but they couldn't comprehend the depth of my sorrow. I struggled to keep up appearances, attending family gatherings and meals, all the while hiding the truth. In the silence of my room, I began to study the artifact and Elias's notes, seeking to understand its purpose. The diary became my guide, my confidant, and my solace. I pored over Elias's writings, deciphering codes and cryptic messages, driven by a nascent resolve to honor his memory and fulfill his mission. I started to research, scouring the local library for any information that might lead me to the right people, to those who could help me unlock the secrets of the artifact. With each passing day, my determination grew, and though the pain of Elias's loss never diminished, I found a sense of purpose in my grief. I was no longer just a young woman from Willow Creek. I was a guardian of a legacy, a keeper of secrets, and a warrior for justice. And as I sat in the library surrounded by dusty tomes and flickering candles, I knew that I would carry Elias's memory with me, and that our love would endure, even in the face of overwhelming darkness. As I left Willow Creek behind, the familiar streets and faces gave way to the anonymity of a bustling city. I settled into a modest apartment, the sounds of traffic and pedestrians outside a constant reminder of my new reality. My days blurred together in a haze of research and learning, as I pored over books, maps, and documents in libraries and archives. Elias's diary remained my constant companion, guiding me through the labyrinthine world of espionage and cryptography. I devoured every scrap of information, every hint of a clue, every whisper of a rumor that might lead me to those who could help me unlock the secrets of the artifact. And then it happened. I stumbled upon a cryptic message, encoded in a seemingly innocuous letter from a colleague. My heart racing, I worked tirelessly to decipher the code, my fingers flying across the page as I transcribed the message. The words revealed a shocking truth. A mole had infiltrated our ranks, feeding information to the Nazis. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I realized the gravity of my discovery. I spent hours poring over surveillance footage, identifying potential suspects, and gathering intelligence. I learned to be discreet, to observe without being observed, to listen without being heard. I developed a keen eye for detail, a sharp mind for analysis, and a steady nerve for counterintelligence. I practiced assembling and disassembling parts of the artifact, my fingers moving with a newfound confidence. I learned to create codes and ciphers, to encrypt and decrypt messages. And with each passing day, I felt Elias's presence around me, guiding me, urging me on. But I was not alone. The Nazi threat loomed large, agents actively searching for the artifact, for anyone who might be connected to it. I walked a tightrope, balancing my secret life with my public persona, always aware of the danger that lurked in every shadow. I recall one particularly tense moment, as I sat in a crowded cafe, sipping coffee and pretending to read a book. A man caught my eye, his gaze lingering on me for a fraction of a second too long. My heart skipped a beat as I subtly shifted in my seat, my eyes scanning the room for an escape route. He was just a curious stranger, or so I told myself. But I knew better. I knew that in this world of secrets and lies, everyone was a potential threat. And yet, despite the solitude, despite the danger, I found a sense of purpose in my mission. I was no longer just a grieving young woman. I was a guardian of a legacy, a keeper of secrets, and a warrior for justice. The artifact, once a symbol of loss, had become a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was always a way forward. As I looked out over the city, the lights twinkling like stars in the night sky, I knew that I would carry Elias's memory with me, and that our love would endure, even in the face of overwhelming darkness. As the war finally drew to a close, I felt a sense of relief wash over me, like a warm breeze on a summer's day. The artifact, once a burden, had become a powerful tool in the hands of the Allied forces. I had played a small part in transmitting crucial intelligence, frustrating enemy plans, and contributing to strategic victories. The memories of those tense, secretive moments still lingered, but they were no longer a source of pain. Instead, they filled me with a quiet satisfaction, a sense of purpose fulfilled. I recall one particular moment, as I sat in a secret office, my fingers flying across the telegraph keys, transmitting vital information to our troops. The room was dimly lit, the only sound the steady clickety-clack of the machine, but I felt a surge of adrenaline coursing through my veins. I was making a difference, and that knowledge gave me the strength to carry on. As I settled back into a peaceful life, I found solace in the simple things. A garden blooming with vibrant flowers, the sound of children's laughter carrying on the wind. I returned to Willow Creek, the place where my journey had begun, and dedicated myself to helping others. I worked with war-affected families, sharing my experiences to help them heal. The artifact, now a cherished symbol of Elias and our past, was carefully stored in a beautiful music box, its melody a reminder of the love and sacrifice that had defined my life. I remember the day I placed it in the music box, feeling a sense of closure, of finality. It was as if I had finally found a way to honor Elias's memory, to keep his spirit alive. As I grew older, I became the wise, loving grandmother my granddaughter knew. My past was a part of me, but it no longer defined my present struggles. I had lived a life of purpose, of sacrifice, and of love. And as I looked back, I realized that it was not the extraordinary events that had shaped me, but the everyday moments of courage, resilience, and devotion. My granddaughter would sit at my feet, listening with wide eyes as I shared stories of my journey. And I could see the wonder in her eyes, the same sense of awe that I had felt all those years ago. I knew that my legacy was not just a collection of memories, but a living, breathing part of her, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, always love. As I looked into her eyes, I saw a reflection of my own journey, a journey of self-discovery, of growth, and of transformation. And I knew that I had passed on to her the most precious gift of all, the gift of resilience, of hope, and of love. As I sit here, surrounded by the familiar comforts of my home, I find myself reflecting on the significance of Grandma Aurora's diary. It's more than just a historical record. It's a map to her soul, a window into the extraordinary life she lived. Reading her words, I feel like I'm getting to know her all over again, discovering the depth and complexity of her character. I realize now that her childhood stories, the ones she told me about fairies and heroes, were actually metaphors for her own heroic journey. She was the brave and selfless hero, fighting against incredible odds to protect those she loved. As I look back, I see that Aurora's legacy is not just the artifact or her secrets, but her silent strength, the wisdom she shared through her stories, and her unconditional love. Her life was a tapestry of love, sacrifice, and resilience, woven with threads of courage and determination. I've come to understand that her experiences, though unique to her, continue to inspire and guide me. I see parallels between her struggles and triumphs and my own life, and I'm grateful for the lessons she's taught me. Reading her diary has been a journey of self-discovery, a reminder that I too have my own hidden stories to tell. It's a universal message, one that I hope to pass on to others, that our stories, though they may be hidden, are a part of us, and sharing them can be a powerful way to connect with others and find meaning. As I close this chapter, I feel a sense of peace and understanding, a deeper appreciation for the complexity and beauty of life. Grandma Aurora's story has been a gift to me, and I hope that it will be a gift to others as well. I'll carry her legacy with me, and I know that it will continue to inspire me to live a life of courage, love, and resilience. The diary, now a treasured family heirloom, will remain a cherished reminder of the power of love and storytelling. As I look to the future, I'm reminded that our stories, though they may be hidden, have the power to transform us, to connect us, and to inspire us to live our best lives. And I know that Grandma Aurora's story will continue to live on, a testament to the enduring power of love and sacrifice. As I reflect on Grandma Aurora's story, I'm reminded that life is a tapestry of unexpected twists and turns, woven with threads of courage, love, and resilience. Her journey, though marked by challenges and secrets, teaches us that it's in the darkest moments that our true strength shines brightest. If her story has resonated with you, then I know that its purpose has been fulfilled. This story doesn't end here. It continues through you, in your own experiences, and in the lessons you carry forward. I'd love for you to be a part of this journey, to share your thoughts and reflections. Please take a moment to leave a like, subscribe to our channel for more stories of love and resilience, and share this story with someone who might find inspiration in it. As you go about your day, I invite you to reflect on the power of hidden legacies and the stories that shape us. What secret do you think Grandma Aurora held dearest to her heart? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation. Together, let's keep her legacy alive, and may her story inspire you to live a life of courage, love, and resilience.